Taking a look at Bitcoin's daily chart here on Bitfinex, we're going to be looking at our targets for price predictions utilizing our technical analysis here, where we've got this ascending triangle forming here. I actually have this resistance level slightly slanted, whereas it's supposed to be neutral. However, I wanted to follow the wicks, but this is an ascending triangle. And then we're going to be taking a look at Ripple and Ethereum price predictions in comparison to the Bitcoin chart. And then the total cryptocurrency market capitalization chart is also showing some positive signs. So we've got a lot of awesome news to talk about and discuss. If you guys are a part of our premium Discord group, we had a 30% trade signal sent out last week for ENJ. So I am highly recommending all of you guys get into our group. The link is in the description below. We're sending out cryptocurrency signals on a daily basis. And now let's take a look at Bitcoin's technical analysis, because we've got a lot to talk about today, and we're seeing some very cool things here with Bitcoin. So first and foremost, we've got this ascending triangle form. You can see we're starting to trend up. We went past that 4,000 level, and what's really cool is we're now above this exponential moving average. If you look at this line right here, it's kind of like a green line. We're above that, which is a very bullish sign of momentum and price actions to the upside. So our first target here is going to be that 4,478 level here, because this in the past has acted as a strong resistance here and a strong support level. And what's also cool is you can see it's also in congruence with this ascending triangle. But once we break out past this first target is really where things are going to start ramping up. And so if we were to break down to the downside, what's really cool about this technical analysis chart and what we're looking at here is we've got this 50 and 100-day moving average support level, which is very, very strong support. And then we've also got this known support level here, and that's right around that 3,700 USD mark. Anything below that would be really bad for Bitcoin. But with all the fundamental news, the cryptocurrency daily transaction volume being at all-time highs, I am not expecting this to break down. My opinion is we're going to start to trend up. I do believe we saw the bottom here right around that 3,200 level. Once again, I advise over 7+ blockchain companies. I'm in the behind the scenes, and what I can tell you right now is we're seeing positive news every single day. If you guys are a part of our Discord group as well, we've got this news tab that's constantly updating with bullish, bearish, or neutral news. So I highly recommend checking this out. By the way, the whole Discord is free. The only thing that you get when you're in a premium group is all of our signals here for crypto and Forex, as well as stocks that are coming soon, and the premium education channel here with 30+ hours of premium education. So I highly recommend you guys get into the Discord if you guys are not a part of the free Discord. You also get this chat here that you guys can utilize. But if you guys are part of our premium group, obviously you get the signals as well. And then the VIP chat, that's already sold out. Once again, we don't have access to the VIP chat. That's where you get 24/7 analyst support. But what's really cool about our group on Discord is a lot of you guys are calling out these altcoin trades. And I'm seeing a lot of potential opportunity here. Not only is Bitcoin starting to trend up, but we're seeing an overall rise in cryptocurrency market volume. You can see here, this is the total cryptocurrency market cap chart. And you can see we've got these risen volume levels. And what's also cool is if you look at the RSI, we've broken bullish. You can see we had 60 act as a resistance a couple times. And if you guys understand traditional technical analysis, 60 is that level of resistance in which once we pass, we now enter this bullish zone from 60 to 70. And then anything above 70 would be considered overbought. So right now, we could most likely find some support here around 60 and trend up and continue to see higher price action in the overall cryptocurrency market, including altcoins, which is super exciting because we're not just seeing these 5 or 10% gains with altcoins. Once again, if you guys are part of our group last week, we had that ENJ signal, 30+% gains. The week before that, we had over 100% gains with a ton of altcoins popping 20-30%. So I'm expecting to see a lot more of that soon, which is why I'm super excited for this next season to come. Now, alongside with the EMA and the moving averages, we pull up the RSI here for Bitcoin. We're seeing something very similar to what we saw in the total cryptocurrency market capitalization chart. We're starting to find some support here at that 60 level. We've already broken bullish here with the RSI. So for those of you that have been doubting Bitcoin, saying it's going to break down, I understand that we are not fully complete in this structure. If you guys don't understand these structures, in our Discord, we actually have a trading patterns channel here where you guys can look at all of these structures and understand what they mean. And what we're seeing right now is this 50% fulfilled ascending triangle that I am expecting to break out sometime in the next few days. And the reason I say that is just the fact that we're starting to see more and more spurs of buy volume come in, a lot less spurs of sell volume. I think it'd be pretty interesting to pull up the MACD and look at the histogram as well, because that could show us a lot about buyer and seller pressure. You can see when we pull up the MACD, we're starting to see buyer pressure come in and very, very weak seller pressure. It looks like the majority of those sellers were taken out around this area, and now we're starting to see more buyers, and stronger buyer pressure than selling pressure. So very exciting. And once again, if you guys do agree or disagree with this technical analysis, I just want to share my opinion. Once again, I've been making videos on YouTube for almost 2 years now. I advise a ton of companies. I've traveled the world speaking about blockchain and the emerging technologies here in this sphere. And what I'll tell you right now is being at the $4,000 level, hitting a peak of 20,000. I mean, we're almost 4 times or 5 times down from where we were at our peak. And that is a very reasonable level to find a bottom and to start to find some sort of consolidation for us to now start trending upwards. And I'm definitely expecting that over the next few months. And I'm expecting a very positive latter part of 2019. We're going to look at some altcoins here because we're seeing some other stuff here with some of these altcoins. XRP and ETH are looking a little bit different here. Very exciting here. If we look at the XRP chart as well, we are pretty much at the end of this pennant. Now, this pennant is also a bullish structure with an ascending support level, a descending resistance level. And what's typical about these structures is we'll typically fulfill about 75% of the structure before seeing the breakout to the upside or downside. But with this, we are close to this apex. We are so close to seeing this breakout. You can see we're starting to squeeze in this RSI with a trending up support level, which is a very bullish sign as well here for Ripple. So what's cool about this is you've also got these moving averages and the EMA converging all together, which shows us that these are very reasonable price levels here for Ripple. And what's cool about that is if we look at what happened in 2017 when Ripple really saw its rise, we are now back down to the levels that we were at when we were reasonable before we saw the exuberance. And so that, in my opinion, is very positive for us to assume that we're most likely going to see some sort of a breakout to the upside here as we approach the end of this pennant to start seeing a trend back up here for the XRP USD chart. Now, the XRP BTC chart is looking a little bit different. Now, this is why I said this is pretty exciting, because we're seeing the differences here within all of these different coins. And if you guys don't look at the Satoshi value of altcoins, then I think you're missing a really big piece of this market, because Satoshi value is more important to altcoins than the USD value for the most part, unless you are utilizing these margin, these leverage exchanges where you're trading XRP to the US dollar or ETH to the US dollar, where in fact you do want to look at the technical analysis of the USD pairing. But for the most part, when determining intrinsic value of the coin, it's very good to compare that to Bitcoin. That's why we look at Satoshi value. So right now we've got this very, very strong support here right around that 7,500 Satoshi mark for Ripple, where we're currently at right around that 7,800 Satoshi mark. And I'm expecting us to see a little bit more downward momentum here to XRP to the Satoshi chart, being the fact that we're under the EMA, we're under the moving average, we're trending down. And then if we look at this RSI, we just started to break down below 40. Once again, the same way that we determine bullish price momentum, if we pass 60, anything below 40 is bearish. And so you can see we broke down below 40. We found a little bit of some support here, but then we eventually broke down, leading me to believe that we are going to see some downside here for the Ripple to Satoshi chart, which is why we did close that trade. If you guys are a part of our Discord, we don't just send 30% trade signals. We also send signals and we close them at break even, or we close them at a 1% loss. Why? Because if we're closing all of our trades that don't actually work out at 1 or 2 or 3% losses, but then our trades that do work out are at 20% or 30%, then we can have even less than a 50-50 chance of hitting a trade and still be very profitable, right? We can hit 25% of our trades and miss 75%, but still be profitable. So understanding the mindset of trading is also extremely important. What's cool about our group is I teach all of our members to do all of this on their phone. There's actually a really cool app called 3 Commas that I highly recommend you guys check out. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm going to remind myself here. And the reason I want you guys to check out 3 Commas is because you can set trailing stop losses and trailing take profits, which can really help out when you're trading, because you can really preserve a lot of capital when you do see upside or downside. So taking a look at Ethereum to the US dollar, I do got 2 targets set up here for Ethereum, being the fact that we've got more of a solid structure here with this ascending triangle. We've got this very, very strong resistance and target here at around 170 US dollars, where we're currently at around 140 US dollars. We're starting to see more volume pick up. The RSI is also trending up. So it's a very similar chart to Bitcoin, but we do have a second target here right around that 210 mark, being the fact that I am expecting us, if we do hit these resistance targets for Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're eventually going to break above that as well, most likely, find some support where we previously found resistance, and then start trending to the second target. And so that's why it's important to really start watching the market. And what's cool is, in my opinion, we're not risking much, being the fact that we've got these moving averages here as strong support. And that, in my opinion, is very, very, it makes you feel good to get into these trades and to start putting some capital and liquid capital into the market, because you know that, in fact, we are at reasonable price levels. So looking at Bitcoin to the Satoshi chart, what's also interesting here is we've got this trending RSI going up. We've got this ascending triangle here with very clear resistance and targets here. Our next target here in terms of Satoshi value for Ethereum is going to be right around that 4 million Satoshi mark. We're currently around 3.4 million. And so, in my opinion, if we were to say which coins have the most potential in the next few weeks to see upside, I would say it would be Ethereum and Bitcoin. And once again, those are the 2 major coins here. Ripple is just not looking so good in the Satoshi chart. And I think the reason being is, when Bitcoin was really seeing a downturn, you can see we saw the majority of these altcoins also go down with Bitcoin. Ripple was the one coin that went up during that time. And so it would make sense for us to see some sort of downside for Ripple while we see upside with other coins, because it's the inverse of what happened before. And so looking at confirmed transactions per day, this is a very interesting chart. Hopefully you guys can see this here. What's really cool is we found this support level, and what I was watching, this was a very important drop here, because obviously you want to see reasonable corrections. The same way that you utilize technical analysis to look at these charts or these cryptocurrencies, you can use technical analysis to look at some of these charts as well. And so the same way that you want to see healthy corrections with price action on the coins, you also want to see healthy corrections with the daily transactions per day. And the reason I want to show you guys this chart is because this huge spike up right here was when Bitcoin was at 20,000 US dollars. Well, what's interesting is we're right back at those levels, right? And when we spiked down, we went right back up, and we're starting to maintain that 300 transaction per day mark, which is a very, very bullish sign for this market. So overall, if you guys were to ask me what my opinion is right now with this total cryptocurrency market, where to start deploying capital, I would say to be very specific with where you put your capital. I am not going out and spreading my capital everywhere. Once again, if you guys are part of our Discord, you guys get our trade alerts. You also get our long-term trade alerts, right? I don't have many long-term trades in the market right now. One of those is the BTT token. A lot of you guys know, and you've heard me talk about the BTT token. That's a token that I definitely see possibly doubling or tripling in the next quarter or two, which is very positive in the market that we're in right now. And so here's that token itself. The reason I see that or say that is because of the fundamentals of the BTT token, having the huge community that they have, but also the fact that it's a newly released coin. Exchanges are accepting it. And then once again, if you guys don't know, Justin Sun from Tron is the one who purchased BitTorrent. And so I'm sure he's not going to want to let this token go downhill. And so this is one of my long-term picks. I wanted to definitely mention that once again, because I like making my stamp out here on YouTube so you guys are aware that I'm making my confident predictions. Because if you guys looked at our videos last year, I said the best coin, in my opinion, was going to be the BNB coin. And that's exactly what happened over the last year from 2017 to 2018. We saw enormous amounts of price action here on the BNB coin. If you guys were to ask me where this would be headed right now, I would say we've pretty much topped out. I think we'll see some sort of a drop here towards these moving averages, possibly towards that 266,000 Satoshi mark. And the reason I say that is because you don't just see this type of exuberance and continue to go up. Anytime you see exuberance, there has to be a time of downfall and reasonable consolidation and correction. And so I definitely expect that to happen. I want to hear your guys' opinion in the comments below about Bitcoin. Do you think we've hit the bottom? I think we have. I mean, it would just make sense in my opinion. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin longs and shorts here before we wrap up this video. And I will be going live later this week as well, so stay tuned. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and like this video if you guys enjoy this content. It really helps out the channel. If you guys are not a part of our Discord group, the link is in the description below. Make sure to get in there, especially if you guys are part of our premium group. Just try it for a month if you're not, because what I'm telling you right now is that we're going to see a lot of altcoin opportunities in the next month or so. So if you guys don't get in, just watch the videos and you'll keep seeing all of our trades that are profitable, because we're doing it on a daily basis. Make sure to follow us on Instagram as well to keep track of that. So looking at longs here, you can see we're not really seeing too much action here. We saw a little bit of a spike up here, but not necessarily seeing anything exciting. Let's take a look at our shorts here. Are we seeing a lot more? So a little bit more momentum here with shorts. More people are betting to the downside, it seems like, when it comes to these. But what's interesting is in the fundamental sense that we've talked about in regards to Bitcoin transactions per day. And if you guys are in our Discord and you guys take a look at the news feed, all we're seeing, in my opinion, is a lot of positive news. I mean, you can look here. If we look at this, Korean crypto sector is booming. Kakao Messenger app, 44 million users to integrate crypto wallets. You can see here, it says, another one, Fortune 500 giant adopts Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, bringing crypto to 2.1 million customers. We're just continuously seeing more and more adoption and more usage, more volume, and therefore it just doesn't make sense for us to continue going down, in my opinion. There's going to be a time where we start to go back up. You know, once it rains, the rain eventually goes away and there's sunshine. And I think we're very, very close to seeing that sunshine here sometime soon. And so hopefully this video really helped you guys, because, you know, I'm really expecting some movements here in the next few weeks. And so I can't wait to continue to cover this. And once again, if you guys aren't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe. And I think I'm going to wrap this video up. But thank you guys for watching, and until next time,